what would be a better movie to drop instead of Mulan? Would it be Black Widow or would it be Mulan? Like which one would you guys pick? For me, I think if they were going to drop a movie between those two, because those are the two movies that are kind of like in the bag, ready to go already, I probably wouldn't have picked Mulan, and I got a couple reasons why I think that Black Widow probably would have been the better option and the better way to make more money. So if you pick Black Widow, the plan is so the plan was to go the plan was to do Black Widow 3 months prior to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There's no I can see the stakes are a little bit lower if you're going with Mulan, but at the same time, was there really any demand for Mulan? I don't think anybody was really clamoring for a live action Mulan movie. I knew I wasn't. Like I barely knew the movie was coming out. I don't think there was much chatter amongst folks talking about Mulan. I don't know if that's the reasoning why they picked Mulan, but I could see if they dropped Black Widow first. Black Widow is a movie that you're kind of invested in already, right? You've already followed, if you're a fan of Marvel, you've already followed Marvel for the past decade. You followed them from Iron Man 1 all the way over to Endgame and Spidey Far From Home, I think was the last one that came out at the theaters. So you're kind of invested. Like, there's a lot of folks out there that want to know what is going on with Black Widow. She had already died. She died in Endgame. Sorry, spoiler alert if you didn't see Endgame. Black Widow dies. So if you hadn't seen it, now we're getting a brand new adventure with Black Widow in it. There's a lot of folks out there, myself included, I would like to know what's going on with Black Widow. I want to know a little bit of prequel history with Black Widow. Like what is all the stuff she's always, her Red Ledger and all this other stuff with Hawkeye. I'd like to know that. I'd like to know if that's in the movie. So that's already like interest is already there for Black Widow, which I think if they would have dropped that first, you've already got that point in hand. Like people are gonna pay money to see that, and if it's anything, even like half the numbers of like Endgame did in Infinity War, I mean you got a lot of people there already interested in Black Widow, which could cause a paradigm shift in the way that theaters and streaming services work. During this pandemic. So you've got that going for already. Like you're kind of almost guaranteed with the Marvel fans that you're gonna go with Black Widow. And then you add in the fact that does Black Widow tie in with the Falcon and Winter Soldier in some way, shape, or form? I mean, the plan was to do Black Widow 3 months later, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So it would make sense if you drop that. If you drop Black Widow, you're gonna get people that are interested to see what happens at the. There's probably gonna be some kind of a post-credit scene where it might tie into the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is gonna make a lot of folks buy Black Widow just so they can stick around for the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Probably sign on for the next, following year, spend more money. I think Black Widow would have been the perfect candidate for that. Which also means if you drop Black Widow and you're a real big fan, you almost have to buy Black Widow, or else you're going to be avoiding the internet for like the next few months because you're going to have to avoid spoilers. You can't go on the internet. Once Black Widow drops, there's going to be videos about it. There's going to be internet articles about what happened in Black Widow. You don't want to be spoiled with Black Widow because you already know what happens in Mulan because it's already been out, right? This is just the live action version of the cartoon. But with Black Widow, it would make more sense because you got that fear of missing out. Like you don't want to miss out on the first day that Black Widow drops. So I think more people are going to be apt at spending $30 just so they can avoid spoilers as well. Because you don't want to go to work next day. You don't want to open your phone and catch the little news clippings. Spoiler alert. Black Widow falls in love with Bucky or Falcon or something like that, or she had an affair with Hawkeye. Why did this happen? Why didn't we know about it? Spoilers. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but so you got that as well. So you got already the big interest in Black Widow if you're invested in the MCU. You've already got a possible tie-in with the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which would lead to the purchase of the movie, and then continuous subscriptions to Disney Plus, and the fear of missing out on what's going on in the MCU, and the fact that we haven't had a Marvel movie in about a year, which I think like I said, I think the last one was Spider-Man: Far From Home. So I mean, there's people clamoring for Marvel content. So my pick, if I was Disney and I was going to drop a movie and take the risk, which I think would have been a smaller risk, would have been Black Widow. I don't think they would ever make $1 billion like their track record has been with the MCU movies, but I think that Black Widow would have been the safer choice to go with over Mulan. And the question is to you guys, would you guys have picked Mulan or Black Widow to get released on video on demand on Disney Plus? What would have been better? What would have been the better choice first, Mulan or Black Widow? Which one would you have looked forward to doing, and which one would you have been more able to drop your spare change on? Let me know in the comments.